Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And so it's already the fifth of the day, the last one, and certainly not the least. So I want to introduce you to Meg. Welcome, Meg. It is so good that you are here. Welcome.
Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you, Sigrid. Just a joy to join you all here today.
And let's start with who are you and what is it what you do on this planet?
Okay, what do I do on this planet?
It's a big question, right? You can go a lot of ways. It's like, where do I start? You start anywhere.
So funny. Okay, you caught me there for a minute. All right. I have been an energy healer for the past 25 years and developed working very closely with Archangel Metatron, a healing modality utilizing his sacred geometry, Metatron's cube. And this opens up a powerful vortex, the quantum vortex. We use it to either spin energy out. So it's a very accelerated process of doing clearing and healing, releasing. And we use it to bring in more light and love and bring in the soul presence into the biofield. So it is an ascension tool. And I've been working with clients for so many years, and in a way that's kind of been my university, right, through trial and error to learn how everything is working down here on this planet and what we're up against, what's been challenging us, and what we are experiencing now, especially since 2012. It's a global acceleration. It's called the quickening, and so this is why we're seeing so much change happening in the world, and also so many people are going through a spiritual awakening. So to assist this, not only doing just private client work, I started in 2011 a show, a webcast podcast show called New Earth Central. So my focus for the past 20 years opened up the website newearthcentral.com to really help give and provide people information and support and activations in assisting everyone in what's happening right now. So still do every month, they do the podcast, the webcast for global gateways. We've got one coming up next week in the solstice. And so it's just, again, giving everyone an opportunity to build community, really join together. Of course, we do it like we're doing now, online. You know, the internet's amazing, allowing to pull us all together. And we set our intentions for this new Earth timeline. And then 2 years ago, while I was home, like everybody was home during the pandemic, I launched my new academy. So the modality is called Quantum Access. And so I post and offer a lot of self-study courses at the academy that people can work with on their own and really enhance their own healing and clearing and activations into becoming a divine human, which is the goal.
That is the goal, for sure. And for you personally, because there was this massive transformation happening with you, right? The awakening. Can you share a little bit more about that moment in your life?
Sure. So I had a spontaneous Kundalini activation in January 1994 during the Los Angeles earthquake. And it was where I was living, it was an 8.2. It was really strong, things flying off the walls, you know, TVs flying. I was just like a bucking bronco on my bed. It happened in the middle of the night, thank God. So people weren't harmed much. But what it did was it was just like lightning bolts shooting through and turning on my energy body, turning on my electrical body. And within that experience, I realized another soul was coming in, and very different than the original natal soul. And so this is what is commonly called a walk-in experience. And so immediately within days, this new presence, this new consciousness, this new soul, it's like, okay, we're going to go start doing energy healing, and we're going to get prepared for 2012. And it's just almost 20 years later. And I was like, I was a corporate girl, you know, I was like, what is all this? So for many years, I had what's called a dual soul. I had two souls operating, very different agenda, very different focus. It was quite challenging, but it allowed me the opportunity. I'm not from here. I've not been here in a physical body. It allowed me to come in and really gain an understanding of what is happening here and why are people asleep and why are people disconnected from their souls and all of this. So it kind of gave me a doorway in a sense. And over time, I was able to work through that original soul's karma and soul contracts and help assist her to transition out. And ever since I've been taking over the incarnation and recoding the bioenergetics and living from a very different orientation. But in a way, we all go through some level of a walk-in, but for most people, it will actually be their own higher self walking in. And so they won't have to go through that process of dealing with another soul's karma and contracts and all that. They're going to deal with their own. and so as the higher self descends more and more in, it illuminates what is left to clean up and heal. And so that's I call that the transmutation process or the internal house cleaning process. But that's an important piece of what we're going through. So it's it's a profound experience and challenging, but yet also I think we're wired for it. We're coded for it. We're designed for this time right now. We're designed for this process. So I could not, from day one, from January '94, I could not unlock from it. It took over and just kept me, just like right to 2012 and what was happening.
How long did it take before one left and one fully emerged or took over? How long did that take?
21
How many
years
was that?
21 years.
Wow. Did it feel weird when parts of you, like the initial part, was leaving? Did it feel like dying, or how is that?
It was, I actually literally had to pull out of her life matrix in Los Angeles. So I got yanked out of Los Angeles in 2012 and located at Mount Shasta and did a lot of work on Mount Shasta, which is the root chakra of the three-dimensional grid. And so by yanking out of a timeline, it begins to collapse, right? It just begins to break apart, and you do feel like you're going through a death experience, like all the relationships and it's just everything starts to decompose, and it feels like that's happening inside you. The final day that it happened of her transition, I literally was waking up in the middle of the night, and there was this being that was looking over me, and I'd scream and jump out of the bed going, oh, what's going on? But in a way, it was like her soul group or her soul family, and so finally, once I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, let me help you. You've got someone to connect to, to take you back to wherever your origin is. And once that happened, it was over. It was gone. I didn't have any more of her consciousness running in me, or she would oppose quite a bit of this spiritual procession, like any of it. And so as that all clear, it was a clean break. Once I could literally and see with my psychic eye and feel her whole presence leave, join that being and go.
Did you stay connected? I'm just very fascinated. Can I ask questions about it? Because
yes, of course.
If I have the questions, probably more have the questions.
Okay, sure.
So what about, for example, your parents or any siblings or people who knew you for a long time? Did they notice this shift?
Yeah.
Could they feel, for example, your voice changing or you change?
Yes.
How was that?
All of that changed. So your personality starts to change, your interests change. I had 3 younger brothers. They all called me their psycho sister, like that. Who is this? Like they could not connect. I started having to stepped back because it was an abusive family. So starting to have to put up healthy boundaries with them and just say, you know, until you can meet me in love and respect, I'm not going to have any contact. And I never heard from him again. That was it. It was just like, that was not an energy they wanted to participate in, I guess. And because it wasn't my own upbringing, you know, so I didn't have a whole lot of emotional attachment there, although I was very present when my mother passed away, because I had only been here probably about 5 years. So I still felt love and compassion for her soul. And so I was, you know, very present during that time. And then that was it for the family. I did legally change my last name to kind of make it clear I wasn't part of that family. That made it kind of hard. I think I still once in a while will get an email from like a cousin or something. And I just keep hearing from my higher self, don't open that door, because you then open to that timeline, and it's confusing for them as well.
Yeah.
So it's more of just, you know, kind of stay put, stay on my own soul timeline and what I'm here to do. And just send love to all of those souls. But it's the relationship that they had with her is over, so they wouldn't be able to even connect with me on that level, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you feel that shift made, like, if you come into this human experience, obviously you have all the patterning and programming and, you know, all the attachments. As you said, when that shifts, like there's not a lot of that. Does that make you still wanting to experience the humanness of life, or do you
Yes.
mainly go for the mission and what you have to bring? Like, does it become more instrumental almost to have this physical body, or is it actually expanding your delight of being in physical presence?
That's a great question. For a while, it was more of living in subspace. I was not very present here in the body, or I would just be very present if I was working with clients, but I lived alone, isolated, you know, no marriage, no children, nothing. It was all about the mission. That was the only reason I'm here. What I have found, and also part of the healing, the clearing, is having to, in a way, deprogram her ego. Got to deal with that. It's still there, right? All that's left, all of her trauma, it's still there. Got to clean that out, heal that, heal the human part of me. I had to go through all of that. That's why it took so long. But once you begin to kind of piece yourself back together and heal and create like a safety zone for the inner child, for the human aspect of us, and you start merging the soul and the human together as one, then what I found is the soul kind of naturally wanted to go and create in the world. And as I got more and more grounded with that essence, that presence, it's like, all right, let's see what a higher conscious relationship might be like, or a friendship might be like. So I'm in that stage now, where as we're kind of starting to come in more and more into this newer timeline, that it's like, I want to experience what that would be like to live as a human in this newer timeline before I finish here. So yes, that is getting stronger for me, and kind of simultaneously while I'm still doing the mission, it's getting stronger.
And was the cube, like, for you, the healing, did that come because of this experience, because you were so liberated in one sense, and simultaneously also was looking for a way to literally release the density and the trauma in quicker ways?
So yes, so when you are start like a starseed walk in, and you come in and you haven't been birthed through the birth canal, right? You haven't gotten fully immersed in the matrix simulation. You're able to see and feel and sense in these higher dimensions. So I did not lose that when I came in. And so that allowed me to continue. You know, my body was very dense, like everything in here was loaded with all the earlier stuff, but my higher brain centers were still open. So I was able to communicate and see psychically, to guide me through the process of getting down in here and doing, you know, the deeper stuff. And so very quickly within, you know, like I had to start learning how to meditate. I didn't even know how to do any of that. Like I had to start from scratch. and calm down that ego mind, just to get still and be able to hear what spirit was telling me. And so one of the first things that I was guided to do once I started to kind of get a handle on getting quiet and meditation was, and it was my communication from Metatron. And that's when I would hear, draw a circle with 12 points and get in that circle and start spinning. And I'm like, I do not know what you're talking about. And they're like, just do it. You know this. It's just going to start to come through instinctually, which it did. But my human mind is like, I don't not know what you're talking about. So it was start very simple. But that was where I began to work with the geometry of Metatron's cube. It's like, that's when I began to learn how to get in a spin momentum and how to get in what's called a Stargate and start to transfer energy quite quickly. So we started real simple. I did that just very naively, instinctually for a long time, until I began to actually get more of my higher sight and saw, oh, okay, that circle's starting to form like Metatron's cube. Well, that's what that is. So it took time, because I'm still clearing out, right, all the veils of separation and all that stuff, still moving that out. But every year I would get more and more understanding of how this operates and how to use it to really accelerate our ascension process.
Can you share more about how to open Stargates?
Yes.
How that works?
Okay, so we are, in the quantum field, we have both a particle field and a wave state. We have, physical matter, and we have spirit, right? The particle field and the wave state. And all of energy has both qualities. They're both, energy is both a wave and a particle. But when we get into the time differential here on this three-dimensional planet, it starts to separate us from the wave state, right? We begin to just be in a very dense particle field. That's the clockwise spin. It compresses all the energy into creating, little hard buckyball atoms to create the physical world. So when we work inside an anticlockwise phi spiral, which is what the quantum vortex does, it's reversing that time compression that creates the separation between the particle field and the wave state, and it begins to open everything up. So it also opens up both the left and right brain, so we can start to use those both simultaneously, and it opens our field up to the wave state, so we can actually begin to connect and experience spirit, and then begin to integrate spirit into us, because we're now changing like the molecular structure of the atoms to be able to assimilate spirit. And so this is like think of it like a quantum leap in our evolution to be able to do this. And it's life-changing. It's quite transformative. So that's our goal, is to be able to access, that's why I call the modality quantum access. It gives us access to these different realms, the physical and the spiritual realm, as well as outside of the limits and constraints of time. So then you're now opening up to the infinite possibilities that exists in the quantum field. And you're not just locked into basically probably what we were born into, which is a very tight, limited ancestral timeline. It's very constrained. So getting into the anti-clockwise spin, you're now unlocking and opening yourself up to all the possibilities. It's a holographic universe. And so when I look into that quantum field, it's just like flashing mirrors of all these potential future outcomes, all these potential timelines. And once we are now existing in both the particle and the wave state, then we can use our consciousness, we can use our free will choice to select what we want to manifest, what we want to materialize, what we want to magnetize now here from the infinite array of possibilities. And that to me was liberating. That was so freeing, to the point actually where I was actually kind of frozen at first because there was so much. I didn't even know where to begin, right? I didn't even know where to start. So then you get more attuned to what is your soul signature, what is your own soul, like heart's desire, because you're bringing that soul in now, right? So now you start to feel, oh, okay, this is what the soul feels like, what the soul wants to focus on. And that allows you to get very discerning and locking into, in the quantum field, just what is a beautiful match for you, for your soul and your soul destiny, your soul purpose, your soul's
Could you
joy.
share a little bit more about, as an example, like use yourself as an example, like what are desires of your soul and how did you literally bring them into manifestation? Because it makes so much sense. Like how you explain it makes so much sense. But if you're in the density of this world, it seems like something completely different. But if I listen to you, it just makes a lot of sense. So can you share a little bit more how that will translate?
Sure. So we're made of this particle field, which is our physical matter, but we also have, if you've ever gone to acupuncturist, we also have an energy body. And running right up that center of your energy body is your chakra column. And for most of us, that's loaded with trauma and density and the time barriers. So one of the things of working with Metatron's Cube is shooting that spin right up your chakra channel. You begin to clear it, right? Get all that trauma out, get all that density out. Like it's your channel. Get that channel open. And then so we are starting to shift from being kind of horizontally directed with our energy flow to becoming now more vertical with our energy flow and bringing the soul down that chakra channel into your chakras, into your body. And that's then where you begin to get a sense of who you really are, not what the ego is, but who you really are, your galactic divinity, who your essence is, your truth is, by getting it inside you, literally. Get that soul into your chakras, into your chakra channel. And that way then it's a very organic, natural process where you're like, oh, I think I want to look into crystals. I've never looked at crystals before, or I don't think I want to live here anymore. I want to go somewhere where I'm more in nature, or I'm really feeling a kinetic, tingling, electrical response to this person, and so this is where your own soul energy is alive and running in you. And what I found too is not only was the heart kind of pulling me right where I needed to go, but I started to see through the eyes of the soul. And I found as my channel opened, I started to just speak the soul. It was just flowing right out of that heart and out, so this is where that's where everything changes. My voice changed, what I was focusing on, what I was speaking about, all of that started to change because it was actually what my soul's interested in and why she's here in the first place. So I would say first just start doing anything that you're drawn to clear your chakra channel. And there's lots of ways to do that. You can do sound healing, you can do breath work. I did all of it. You can do acupuncture, you can do body work, Kundalini yoga. Like there's so much that I did that helped. So just jump into whatever you're drawn to start to get your channel open. And then of course, in meditation, in the stillness, start calling your higher self down and in, start calling your soul in.
And how would you say, the difference between the divine part in you? Like, how can you feel the difference in the desire or the desire from the human?
Very different vibration and frequency. And focus. So typically the human, the ego is egocentric. So it just wants what it wants. Like it's for me. That's a very kind of less evolved narcissistic focus. So if you're finding you're like, I really have to have this, right? And then your heart's desire like locking onto this. Okay, that's not how the soul works. The soul is not controlling or dominating or aggressive or any of that. So that would be first, how does that feel in you? And what is the focus of it? like if you're desperate, I have to have this. That's typically coming from the ego. The soul is more service oriented, for the greater good. The soul wants everyone to be in joy, everyone to be in love, right? Everyone to be happy. So I found that the more that I could feel, there was no grabby, right? I wasn't trying to have anything. It was more of, I'm going to open and I'm going to just receive all the blessings coming in. I'm going to receive all the abundance coming in, whatever that is. So I don't get really locked into the details. The ego will go into the details, right? I just feel it. So like, let's say I need to pull in like a new home to live in. I just tune into the feeling of being safe and loved and nurtured in this new home. I pull in that energy and then it starts popping in, it starts showing up. So, and also with my work, I found that when the early years, when I was starting to do client session, my human self, ego self, would freak out, like have a panic attack before sessions. She was like, I don't want to do this. What are you doing? And so I was like, okay, you need to take a chill pill and step back so my soul can work through me. And that was like my mantra, I'm a clear and open channel for my soul to work through me. And I'm here to help people. And as soon as I claimed that and focused on that, I shifted from the egocentric to the service of the soul. And the ego just went silent. It would just stop.
I so love how you shared it. I remember I didn't like public speaking. Are you kidding me? All these people, how? And I just knew I had to do it. And then it just I feel so much confidence because of the soul when I'm in this interaction, because I just know, it's not even a question. It's just only that wants to come through. And it's so good.
Yes.
It feels very effortless and easy, right?
Yes.
It's almost like my personality just gets to enjoy the whole thing rather than having to steer the whole situation. Right?
It's I tell the ego, you're coming along for the ride. I'm going to have you ascend with me, but you don't get to be the boss anymore. You don't get to be in charge and you don't get to control this. And it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah. I also I don't know if you experience that the soul just wants a lot of freedom as well. It's service, but also based in a way easier pace. The pace is different.
So true.
There's more nourishment towards the personality instead of just forcing it's like a very different and more instant kind of way. So one part, it's slower, but it manifests quicker. Do you get what I mean?
Yes. What I noticed is that the ego tends to work more with the left brain and the masculine energy to push out into the world, right? It's forcing out into the world. And the soul tends to be more in the kind of fluid feminine of receiving in. So it's a very different flow, very different vibration, very different flow. Yeah. And also it's receptive. So the soul is receiving instead of, when you're pushing, you can't receive, right? So that's why I had to stop. I had a 25-year corporate career. I had to totally relearn how to work with my energy, where I wasn't out there, as a manager going bam, 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 right? Pushing. I had to get more back into the feminine receptivity and the flow, that fluid flow of the soul. And I had to reprogram myself with that. That was a big deal. Yeah, but it's a very different rhythm and vibration between the ego and the soul.
Yeah. So you also are going to do an activation. Do you want to start, and do you want to share a little bit more about it before we start?
Sure. So we're going to do a quick little quantum access activation to help work in that channel, working within and also, I also have a little picture here that can help you. So we're going to have Metatron's cube under our feet. We'll stand in the center of it. It will activate. And if you've noticed, embedded in Metatron's cube is the double star tetrahedron, which is the geometry of your Merkaba Taurus. And also in the center, where the two triangles meet and connect, is right at the heart crystal. And that heart crystal is the engine that runs your light body. And so we want to do every day, feed your heart crystal, feed the light frequency into your heart crystal. You know, those crystals, they amplify and they intensify. So just keep bringing in the diamond crystal and light, feeding it into your heart crystal. And this all then begins to turn on and activate. And it's gradual because, of course, we've got, you know, all our density that we have to deal with, but it's all embedded and encoded in Metatron's cube. So when you're working with it, just know that it is, it's starting to work. And also too, within this overlapping of the upward and the downward tetrahedron, where the heart crystal is, that creates a stargate, and that opens. So your heart crystal not only is running your Merkaba Taurus, but your heart crystal is a quantum stargate to that quantum field I was mentioning about. So when we were talking about heart's desires, get the soul in there, open up that stargate, and now you're open to infinite possibilities. There's no limit. You move out of the kind of the lower 3D lack and limitation programming. You open that stargate and phew, man, it's like it's a feeling field. It's a heart field. All is available to you. Okay, so let's do a quick activation with the heart crystal, with the channel. Also, too, I want to mention that most of us are visiting souls. We're starseed souls from other star systems, and so our energy body is specifically coded and designed for our galactic home star bloodline. So that means you, dormant, waiting in you, is all that you need to turn that all on. And if you're an original human soul, you also carry within you the original human crystalline DNA to turn on as well. So this has all been dormant. This is what they call the dormant DNA or the junk DNA. It's all waiting for these activations. So what I'd like to do as well is we'll get the heart crystal charged up, and then also let's turn on more of your soul blueprint, your soul light body, because that is going to assist in the merging, right, of the higher self and the human self. We get that all. It's so, think of it like we're creating a very crystalline vessel, a home for the soul to come into and live in and be, you know, merging with us. Okay. Okay, let's just take a couple deep breaths. We're just going to get our focus now coming more now into our bodies and into our core center, into our heartbeat and our breath. Just coming down from the thinking mind, getting more into our belly, into our center. And as we're starting to work with the flow of our chi, imagine you're moving your energy down the leg channels and through the feet chakras. And we're going to get nice and connected to the crystalline grid of our new earth timeline. These are like ley lines of crystalline light all around the surface of the planet. We just get nice and connected. Our feet chakras also work like magnets. Imagine you're kind of locking in, and you could have roots of light coming out of your feet chakras into the crystal grid. Okay, there we go. Everyone's starting to drop more into your hips, legs, feet locking into the crystal grid. Let's connect up to spirit. So connecting to Divine Mother, Father, Source, Creator. We're going to connect with Archangel Metatron, who's assisting us with this activation. Connect to your original God spark. This is your master soul and your soul family and your home stars. This is, we're already starting to connect to your original galactic bloodline, your home star. You do it through your soul frequency, your soul signature. All right, there we go. And then Metatron is embedding Metatron's cube under our feet and our grounding on the crystal grid. We're going to step into the center of it, lock your feet into the 13th circle. So it's made of outer 6 circles, inner 6 circles, center 13th circle. We're going to put our feet into the center 13th circle. Give it your light, give it your life force, give it your energy. You're starting to turn it on. Okay, there it goes. Starts to activate. And as it begins to open up, those 12 circles start to rise up as pillars of light up and around your body and your aura. They kind of work like tuning forks. They're humming and vibrating with the 12-dimensional harmonic tones. We hear this with our human ears as Om, the sacred sounds of Om. So you've got these pillars of light now, Oming. And if you're having trouble with visualizing, see if you can get more into your right brain, which is your psychic brain, your holographic brain. That's what we used to visualize. Okay, those pillars are now starting to rotate, and they're going to run right to left, anti-clockwise spin. So if you are looking down at your feet, it's going to go right to left in a circle. Okay, there they go. They're starting to spin. And as they spin up, and use your breath as you're starting to move the energy, spinning faster and faster, starting to open your field up and out into the higher dimensions to begin to expand your field. There we go. And now we're going to go even faster and start to collapse the veils, the time barriers, the time density, and open all the way out to the quantum level. Let that ripple through your field. There it goes. So it's like removing the barrier between the particle field and the wave state. We're starting to open to both the physical realm and the spiritual realm simultaneously. All right, we got it. Now let's come inside, focusing into your energy body, into your chakra column. And we're going to do a step that you can do every day. It's opening that channel. So we're going to bring another spiral of coming up from your feet from Metatron's cube. It's a tighter spiral, and it's going to come right up to your root chakra and begin to rise up your channel. So as it's spiraling up your chakra channel, let's command it to spin out, flush out, command out all trauma, all density that's ready to release. The vortex will start to take all this energy back to source light for transmutation. Okay, there we go. Spiraling up, opening your chakras, opening your chakra channel as you rise all the way up to the top. We go past the crown, up to the 12th chakra. And this is where we connect to our higher self. Opening that pathway all the way up to your higher self. And your higher self is made of your signature light and your sound waves, your tones, your frequencies. So it's light and sound. So we connect to our higher selves, light and frequencies, your sound waves, and begin to flip. Again, we're working vertically. Now you're an open channel, breathing this stream of soul light. Soul frequencies come down through the crown, filling into all your chakras in the body. Just breathe it in. This is called the inflow. Breathe it in, filling inside with soul light, soul frequencies, soul essence, soul consciousness, all the way down to the lower chakras. These are human chakras, and down to the root and into the pelvic floor, like your soul is sitting into your hips, into your body. Woo, there we go. Drop it in. Woo. Just allow your body to adjust to it. Allow your chakra, you might even feel your chakra channel is stretching open a little wider, filling with the pure soul, light soul, super consciousness, soul frequencies, pulsing alive inside you. There you go. Just kind of adjusting to it. This is your Kundalini life force. This is your light is your power. You're pulling in more Kundalini light, more of your soul power in. Now let's direct some of that stream into the heart crystal, which is the center of your Merkaba Taurus, right? And so just imagining like a diamond crystal, multifaceted diamond crystal there, and filling it with a stream of your soul light, soul frequencies. Let's breathe that in, filling in. There we go. Starting to take it. Starts to get more amplified. Our soul light is usually like a gold and white light. So you might see that moving into your heart crystal, filling it. Good. It's getting stronger. And because it's a multifaceted diamond crystal, imagine your soul light beginning to radiate out in all directions from your heart crystal. And we're building soul radiance, just like a big starburst at your heart crystal, radiating out, soul light. Ooh, there you go. Just like a big sun getting stronger in your chest, radiating out. And this is where we build that heart magnetism, build that heart power of what is you, your own soul truth, soul competence, soul essence, soul wisdom, soul's desires still get radiating stronger. So this does a couple things. One, we're helping to shift the planetary field by radiating out more soul super consciousness, soul love, soul light. We're like flooding the field with more love, more light. But it is also your own essence. It's your own super consciousness as you're radiating out your soul light beams, right? Your soul light rays. It's also starting to connect to the quantum field, and right in that heart crystal, as it fills and pulses and vibrates with your soul frequency, it begins to open your door or your gateway, your stargate to the quantum field. I began to start to see like the swirling galaxy in there. I was like, what the heck is that? And I realized, oh my God, I have a door open to the universe. Just starting to allow that to activate within you. There we go. To no longer live in limitation or feel blocked. Let's do a clearing command from head to toe. Or now we're going to bring in the God light, which is that diamond white lights. Imagine the crystalline diamond light washing down your channel like you're under a shower of crystalline purification light, diamond light. Source light, just let it out wash through you from head down to feet, through all your channels, through your chakras, through your body, into your aura. And we're going to command out all blockages or barriers or veils or membranes of separation, any energy walls, energy balls that have been limiting us, blocking us. We're going to command out, spin out, flesh out, command out, reverse out, and just breathe out, exhale out, wherever you're feeling that release into the vortex spin, back into source light, transmutation light. Ooh, here comes the layer lifting off. So you continue to spin it out, command it out, reverse it out. Does not have permission to be here anymore. Here comes more. You might feel it coming out of your body, heart, mind, or all of it. Just let it release. You're done with allowing this. There we go. And that might also start to open up more of the inflow of your soul energy, your soul presence into your chakras, into your chakra channel, into your heart crystal, into your stargate. Ooh, that's beautiful. Now you're coded and designed and built to run on your soul light, your soul frequency, your home starlight. And so as you're running your soul light up and down your chakra channel and into the body, let's also command that your own soul signature light is turning on more of your dormant galactic code, more of your soul blueprint, more of your soul light body. Ooh, there you go. You get a nice transmission. Ooh, just breathe that in. Ooh, turning things on. It starts to turn on your crystalline seed codes. Turns on your blueprint, was like kind of like your owner's manual for your ascension. Ooh, turns on your light body, which is the vessel for the soul and the human to merge as one. Good. Ooh, there goes another transmission coming down and in, turning it on, activating it. Just breathe into it. Keep your feet grounded. Just accept your soul activation, your soul light, turning it on. Ooh, there goes another one, rippling right down the body through your light body, into your blueprint, into your crystal codes, into your crystal heart. Ooh. And your feet are now starting to ground all this into the grid, the crystal grid of our new earth timeline. to take hold, ground in, merge in, continue. So in the coming hours and days, continue to ripple through and activate your soul light body, your soul blueprint, your heart crystal. Still spinning in. So we're now spinning inwards, merging in, blending in, integrating in all the steps we just did, all the commands we just did, all the activations we just did. Think of it like you're taking it deep, deep down to the molecular level as it's updating, even into the RNA and DNA. Ooh, updating in your operating system. Ooh, there we go. And it's starting to lock at the feet as you're grounding it. Grounding in, spitting in, taking hold. And that completes our activations for today. And so it is. And so it is.
Thank you so much. There was so much energy moving.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It was a lot of high frequency, like really crystalline, like diamond energy, right? Coming in and structured as well, right?
Yes, it's
very structured.
Yes, yes.
What was your experience of what came in?
I could feel the soul and soul group sending in transmissions. It was very particular where it was going and what it wanted to turn on wherever everybody is in this now. So it was I could feel in our group lots of different bloodline origin energies coming in and different parts of the light body turning on based on where you're at. So it was very specialized based on what your higher self was sending to you.
Yeah, very powerful, really, really powerful. And so you also have an offer and gift. Can you share more about it?
Yes, so there is an offer at my academy for the how to communicate with your higher self. So how to really get this multidimensional channel opened up and active, and working with the pineal and third eye crystals, getting those activated. So that is a course. It's a self-study course. It includes a very detailed manual and a workbook and a video training and audio activation, MP3 audio meditation activation. So it's a pretty comprehensive course on how to communicate with your higher self. I think this is very important for all of us to really begin to follow our higher wisdom, not kind of feeling like, I don't know what's going on, what do I do? So I rely very much daily. I talk to my higher self all the time, rely very much on that channel opening. And I had to go through these steps, man. It wasn't, fully opened either because of this channel getting a lot of density. So that's available at my academy, how to communicate with the higher self. And then also I'm offering a free gift for those who resonate with this technique. And this is a bonus download with there's a passcode there for you. And I think it's about 45-minute healing meditation, how to clear, break free, and release, really so you can focus it on core wounding, ancestral programming, like anything and everything that you are encountering in your life that you're feeling is limiting you or blocking you. You can apply. We go very deep in this meditation, healing meditation. So that's free to all of you. I invite you to give it a shot, give it a try.
Yeah, and so for the people watching, obviously now when you're live, you can actually get access to all of it right now here in the chat. If you're not, it will be in the email, and also you can just email my team. If you can't find it, we will give you the link. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to make sure that you will get what you're excited about. Now we have a little time for some Q&A.
Sure.
So let's see what was already dropped, and otherwise, let's see if there's already questions. There's a lot of communication. Let's see. Is it possible to have parallel lives interfering with the pure organic through ascension timeline? Is it possible to embody a Stargate? So that's basically two questions.
As I see kind of the flashing mirror timelines in the quantum field, you could definitely be skipping or jumping tracks multiple times in your life. I have. So yes, be aware that this is happening, and you don't want to get on a track that's not for your highest good. So always hold the intent that you are connecting with what is a frequency match of your soul blueprint, right? Your soul purpose, your soul's goals. And so that you're only magnetizing in parallel timelines that could open to you and be available to you, that just keep taking you higher and higher into more soul experience. So yes, this there will be times where I will feel a new timeline come in very strongly. I'm getting all this psychic information. I'm feeling my energy start to pull to it, and then it will disappear. So there's also the potential where if you're actively working with it, you could have integrated everything you needed to, and you didn't even need to go jump on it fully. So yes, this is where you start living in quantum consciousness, and it is a bit of adjustment to make. But that's why I encourage everyone to ground onto that crystal grid every morning when you get up, so that you aren't getting lost in the ethers here. Be really in the present, in the body, grounded to the new earth, and then flow with how these timelines can start to show up. So we have, in a way, that we have the planetary timeline, which is this new operating system. And then we have our personal kind of sub timelines that are available to us. What was the second question, Sigrid?
If you can embody stargates.
Yes, your own soul light body is designed with stargates. And so think of them as even in acupuncture, where there's a cross point that opens little mini doors, little mini gateways. And so we have minor ones where your kundalini can really surge into those little gateways. And then we have like the heart crystal, which is a quantum one to the universe. So there's your crown is a gateway, right up to the higher self. So yes, we have kind of micro and macro gateways already designed in the energy body. Most of them haven't been turned on because the soul wasn't able to get into the particle field. But as you actively bring the soul into the particle field, it's your own soul energy, your own soul light that will start to activate the gateways, the stargates.
So profound, right? And that's why to clean your channel so you can bring it in, right? So you can
yes. And even above the crown, these are higher dimensional, like transpersonal chakras that open up to higher dimensional brain centers. And there's gateways there too, where you can access like universal library, the Kashiks, the universal knowledge that our human can possibly access. So yes, getting all that opened up begins this incredible process of being able to access more and more in the quantum field through these gateways, these stargates.
Powerful. It is all possible. About visualization, I'm like mentally blind. I don't manage to visualize anything. Any idea why and how to fix that?
Yes, so we were born into a dominant left brain society, which is run by the ego. And the left brain can only access the 3 dimensions of the physical world. The right brain's just sitting there and we're not using it much. Okay, that right brain is your holographic brain. That is your psychic brain. It's your intuitive brain. It is what you use to visualize. So what I did and encourage everyone, bring that diamond light down, direct it into your right brain. You want to begin to turn on those neural pathways because they're all dormant. When I would start working with people, and that right brain was almost dark, like there is not much electrical current running through those neural pathways. It's not being utilized. So doing right brain activation, just continue to direct the diamond light into the dormant pathways of the right brain. Also, most people will have filters, distortion filters on their third eye. I always see the third eye kind of like a camera lens. Think of it like you got to peel off the veils, the filters, the distortions off that third eye. So this is part of what's in that course of communicating with higher self. We have to open up the psychic mechanisms that have all been blocked and shut down. So it takes practice. I encourage everyone who joins me on my monthly gateway activations to try to shift out of that left brain dominance, start to practice working with your right brain, with your third eye, where you are kind of turning inwards. Think of almost like you're focusing inside into your psychic viewing room. It would look to me almost like a white movie screen. And then I would watch the subtle energy as it would flash on the screen to start to train my focus to be able to pick up the psychic information, the visions that were being sent to me. But I was focused out there. You're not going to see any of it. You got to come in here and start working with your psychic intuitive mind. If your focus is split and scattered and out there, it's impossible to be able to see the subtle energy that your higher self is sending you in visions. Does that make sense?
It does, actually. You're very clear.
Okay.
And I think this is a question a lot of people have, so I'm really glad you answered it. Now, Marcus is asking you, could you talk more about the shadow self? Whatever idea you have or perception you have about that.
I actually just put on the Academy a whole course on the shadow self and how to heal the shadow self. So think of it in just very like general terms. The shadow self is our hidden self, our unconscious self. It's not out in the open, right? It's hidden. It's not in the light. So it's in shadow. That's so very basic. That could be pain, emotional pain. That could be traumatic memory that's being suppressed, so it could be the shadow self is the whole gamut of anything that's hidden or unconscious that you aren't aware of. And we want to bring everything inside us into conscious awareness, into the light. And that way, then you're already 90% of healing, just bringing it into awareness, into consciousness, into acceptance, acknowledge it and feel it, and it already starts to heal and transmute. And so this could be ancestral trauma, right? This is passed down at least 6 generations. This could be past life trauma. This could be unhealed karma. I mean, there is so much that we hold in this morphic field of ours. It's beyond just this lifetime. It's all your earthly timelines. All of that is held in your field, and that is having a direct impact on your daily life. So shadow self is core wounds, core beliefs, mind control programming. It's of course the ego. The ego is the unconscious self trying to control and dominate. And it also is anything that is of emotional pain or suffering that's preventing us from living in our joy. It's the fragmented inner child. Okay, so the shadow self's got a lot of parts to it. And it is active, even though we don't want it to, or we're trying to hide from it. It is active every day in our lives. It's out there acting out when we don't even realize it. It's inside getting triggered by people, places, things, situations, conflicts. Like your shadow self is giving you clues every day. So once you decide, okay, I'm going to start to bring this into my awareness, into my consciousness, into the light, then you start to see it because you now are looking for it, right? You're going into what we call observer consciousness, and you're starting to observe all the signs of where it's very active in our relationships and our families. And so you're getting a lot of feedback, but you now can actively start to transmute it, heal it and transmute it. And as you dissolve out the shadow unconsciousness and the pain, the wounding, the trauma, what all that is, your field gets lighter and higher frequency and more pure, and the soul is able to merge in and everything starts to improve.
Thank you so much for all of your answers. It was honestly a delight. A lot of people were able to attend live, and I know lots of people will actually watch the replay. So I'm excited about that, so that they really can meet you. I mean, it was a powerful conversation. I loved it. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Sigrid. asked some really good questions there.
I loved it. Like, I was very curious. I think it was, and you explained it so well.
Okay.
A whole new world, basically. So thank you so much.
So,
And for all of you, this is the last session of the day. So tomorrow we are back at 3 p.m. CEST, and we continue another day. This was an epic first day, so I'm excited about today, about day 2, and we have 4 in total. So there's so much transformation available. So once again, thank you so much, Meg. It was an honor to have you here.
thank
And
you.
everyone, I don't know, have a great day, or for many of your Dutch, it's probably good night. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.